This is Grumpy SEO Guy, episode 44, How to Sell Backlinks on Your Website. You're listening to Grumpy SEO Guy, the SEO podcast that doesn't waste your time with nonsense that doesn't work. I'm the Grumpy SEO Guy, and I'm sharing with you the strategies that have helped me successfully run my SEO agency for the last 14 years. In this podcast, I'll be sharing my knowledge and experience, discussing tips and strategies, and trying to help you cut through the confusion that permeates this industry. If you listen to this podcast, you will know more about SEO than 99% of people on the planet. Ready? Let's get started. I'm the Grumpy SEO Guy. Let me tell you why I'm grumpy today. I'm grumpy today because a lot of people are asking questions about how to sell backlinks. Let me give you an example. They're like, somebody contacted me and wants to buy a backlink on my website. How do I do it? Okay, fair question. I'm grumpy because nobody knows how. Luckily for you, I'm going to explain how. But before we do that, my lawyer tells me that I have to say this right now. A quick disclaimer before we get started, everything I say here is based on my experience and opinion from 14 years in the industry. I don't officially know how Google or any other search engines work. Everything I say here is hypothetical and based on my experience. This podcast does not constitute advice or services. What worked for me may or may not work for you. Okay, back to the show. Okay, now, I want to be very specific about something. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to sell the backlinks. We are not going to talk about how to market, nor are we going to talk about how to advertise how to sell your backlinks, okay? We're going to talk about what to do if somebody contacts you and wants to buy a backlink on your website. But if you have a website, you will probably get an email from somebody at some point who is trying to buy a backlink on your website. The email will probably say, "Dear sir, I noticed you have a website, blah, blah, blah. I was wondering if you would be willing to let me post an article or sell me a backlink." Because basically, if they want to post an article or they want a link, they're going to probably offer to pay for it. Okay? Now, not necessarily, and I'm not saying that everybody who does this is selling or buying backlinks, but they probably are, okay? So if you want a backlink, you're probably going to have to pay for it. You might not have to, but you most likely are going to have to pay for it, okay? So, by the way, that's called guest posting. It's also sometimes called link outreach. Those are similar, but they're also the same thing. Like they're similar because guest posting is when you write a post and get a backlink in the post on somebody else's website back to your website. And link outreach is when you don't write a post and they just give you a backlink anyway. Like if they have an article discussing blue widgets and you email them and you're like, "I have a website about blue widgets. Can you give me a link on your article about blue widgets?" Like the only difference is in one you write an article and in the other you don't write an article. That's why I said they're pretty equivalent because you're still asking somebody for a link. Anyway, so let's say you have a website and somebody emails you and says, "Hey, I want to buy a backlink on your website." Because that's what they mean when they're all like, "I was wondering if you would allow me to write an article and in exchange for that article, you give me," like what they're basically saying is, "I want to buy a backlink on your website." Okay, so now that that's settled, let's talk about how to do it. So probably, if you get that email, you're going to be like, "Yes, somebody wants to buy a backlink from me." That means two things. Number one, it means my website's awesome and people want to buy a backlink. And number two, it means I'm going to make money. Okay, hold on for a second. This is how you have to do it. Now, you don't have to listen to me. You can be like, "Oh yeah, send me the money and I'll give you a backlink." Okay, but probably don't do that. You definitely need to do some research. I'm going to give you a step-by-step list of things to confirm before you actually put their link on and get paid. Ready? Let's get started. The first thing you need to do, if it were me, all right, you could ignore this advice, but the first thing you need to do is make sure that their website that they want to link to is not in the adult industry, the gambling industry, or the pharmacy industry, okay? Now, the only exception to this is if you're in those industries, okay? If you run an adult website and somebody reaches out to you and wants a link to their adult website, totally fine. But if you run a website that is not in the adult industry, do not link to adult websites, okay? Just don't do it. Like, you don't want to be associated with that. This is not an ethical judgment, okay? This is an SEO judgment. You don't want to be associated with those industries if you are not in those industries. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to check their website. You're not just going to look at the link that they want. You're going to go to the website. You're going to look around. Does it have any content that's adult, gambling, or pharmacy? If it does, immediate disqualification. Okay, number 2. This is very important. Backlink payments must always be monthly or yearly. Now, let's hold on for a second, because most people, when they buy guest posts or when they buy link outreach opportunities, are paying a one-time fee. As you know, because you've listened to episode 10, which is called Why One-Time Payments or Lifetime Backlinks Are Always a Scam, you already know that they're always a scam, okay? Now, I'm not going to take a long time to explain this right now. So, if you want to learn more, go listen to episode 10. It's a very important episode, okay? But basically, and I want to clarify something here. The reason I'm telling you that all backlinks have to be monthly or yearly, the point is they have to be recurring, okay? I don't care if it's a month or a year. I often sell yearly backlinks, okay? And sometimes I might even give a little discount if they pay a year in advance, okay? So take whatever the monthly cost is, and I'm not saying you have to do this, but take whatever the monthly cost is, multiply it by 12, okay? That would be a year, and maybe give like a 10% discount, okay? I don't know. I've done that sometimes. Look, the reason it's a scam, it has nothing to do with trying to get more money as the seller. You might think, oh, you're just trying to get more money. If they pay you every month, then that's recurring income. Yeah, first of all, it's totally recurring income. But second of all, that's not why it's a scam. It's a scam for the buyer to not pay a recurring fee for a link. Let me explain really fast. And I'm not joking. Go listen to episode 10 because it explains it in much more detail. Basically, if you pay a one-time fee, there is no guarantee that that link will stay online, nor is there a guarantee that that site will stay quality. In fact, if you pay a one-time fee, the only way that selling backlinks with a one-time payment can be profitable is if you keep selling them endlessly. Do you know what that's called? That's called making a link farm. If you keep selling links forever and ever and ever on your site, and you keep getting more and more and more, and remember, you have to do that if you're selling one-time links, because otherwise you're going to stop making money. And if the site stops making money, you're going to stop renewing it and you're going to stop paying your hosting. Okay, so if you sell one-time backlinks, and I don't mean you, I just mean somebody. If somebody sells one-time payment backlinks, okay, if they sell one backlink, okay, let's say they get however much money for it, okay, and then a year goes by and they don't sell anymore, well, it's time to pay their renewal fee on that domain. Are they going to pay that renewal fee for a site that's not making them any money? Are they going to pay hosting for another year for a site that's not making any money? Do you think that person is going to keep paying their hosting and renewal fees just because they sold you a one-time, lifetime backlink? Of course they're not, because eventually they're going to get to a point where the renewal and the hosting cost more than they made on the link. Do you think they're going to do it just because they sold you a lifetime link and I have to keep it online because I sold this guy a lifetime backlink and I need to keep it online? No, of course they're not. They're going to be like, the site's not making me money anymore. Let's let it expire. Guess what? Your lifetime backlink is now worthless. But if you're paying monthly, that ensures, well, it should ensure that the link will keep being online. The way people make money selling backlinks is by using the profit from the sale to pay for the business, okay? You are making more, well, hopefully, you are making more money from selling the backlinks than you are paying to keep the sites and hosting online, okay? So it makes perfect sense that you would keep doing it that way endlessly. So if I sell somebody a link, in 5 years, guess what? It's still gonna be online because they're still paying me. But if it's a one-time backlink, well, first of all, I don't sell one-time backlinks. But if it's a one-time backlink, you think it's going to be online years down the road? No, of course not. Not unless that person can keep making a profit by continually selling links which is going to make them a link farm. That's how you get sites with hundreds or thousands, like probably they're not that good of a salesperson, right? But like hundreds or thousands of backlinks. That's a link farm. I would not want a backlink from a site with thousands of backlinks, especially if they're selling them, okay? I would not want a backlink on that. We keep our authoritative blogs at very low OBLs, very low outbound links. And you know what? Our customers pay for those low OBLs with their recurring monthly payments. So is it worth it? Yeah, it's absolutely worth it to them because they're getting low OBLs. The links are staying online. And you know why they're still online? Because they're paying for it every month. That payment guarantees that the quality of the site is maintained. I've said enough about that. Hopefully that wasn't too wordy. Go listen to episode 10 if it still doesn't make sense, or if you think I'm a big idiot and you think that for some reason you should sell lifetime backlinks, even though you shouldn't. That's the biggest scam on the planet. So just to summarize, it's not the biggest scam on the planet, but it's one of the biggest scams in the SEO industry. And that's a big statement because there are so many scams in the SEO industry, but that's a big one. Actually, they're all the biggest scam in the SEO industry. They're all tied for number one. Every SEO scam is tied for number one. Anyways, so anyway, make sure that it is not a one-time payment. Now, if you have a problem with this, if they offer you, I'm just making up numbers. This is not a recommendation for how much to charge, okay? Let's say they offer you $100. Or let's say you decide on $100. I don't know how you're arriving at a price. Let's say $100, okay? I would say yes. If I was satisfied with that price, I would say yes, it's $100 per year or whatever that is per month. That's what I would do. And if they say, "Oh, I only want to pay one time," I'd say, "Oh, sorry, I don't feel comfortable doing that because one-time payments are not fair to the buyer." And then what I would do is I would send them a link to Grumpy SEO Guy episode 10 and let them listen to it and educate themselves. But you don't have to do that part. But that's what I would do. Anyway, okay. So payments are always recurring and they are never one time. And if you're a buyer, again, I need to be very clear about this. If you're a buyer, never ever buy a one-time backlink because you will be getting ripped off. It will eventually go offline, okay? Maybe tomorrow, maybe not for a long time, but it will eventually go offline. But links that you pay for on a subscription basis will stay online. All sellers that are selling one-time payments are scamming you. Let's go on to the next topic. We've already covered a couple things. One, are they a gambling, adult, or pharmacy website? If they are, don't work with them. Unless you're in those industries, of course. Number two, are you going to do recurring payments? Yes. Okay, what else do we have to do? You need to check their website for the following. The first thing you need to check for is they don't link to gambling, pharmacy, or adult websites. Now, I already said they cannot be a gambling, adult, or pharmacy website, but they also cannot link to gambling, adult, or pharmacy websites. Now, would they? I don't know, maybe. You never know who anyone links to, so you better check their website and make sure they don't. All right. Next thing you have to check, the second thing you have to check their backlinks. Look at their backlinks and see if they have a lot of backlinks from a country that doesn't make sense that it would be linking to them, okay? For example, I've given these examples before, so we're just going to do them again. Let's say it's an American business. Okay, cool. And let's say you're in America. Okay, cool. Now, let's say like most of their backlinks come from China. Now, nothing against China, but would it ever happen naturally that an American website gets most of its backlinks from servers in China? Would that ever naturally happen? That sounds pretty unlikely to me. So notice that I didn't say don't work with them if they have mostly Chinese backlinks if they're an American company. What I said was, does it make sense? Look at their website. Do they deal with Chinese issues? Do they deal with China as a country? If they do, maybe that makes perfect sense. Or maybe they bought a spammy backlink package from China. You never know. That's why you have to check. Because if they're doing shady stuff and you link to them, then you're also doing shady stuff, okay? So you need to look out for that. The third thing that you have to check, you're checking their website. how much of their anchor text, and I know you guys all know what anchor text is because you've been listening to Grumpy SEO Guy. Anchor text is the words in a backlink, and I have an entire episode on this. It's called What is Anchor Text and Why is it Important? Or How to Rank Any Website for Any Keyword, and that's episode 29. You should go listen to episode 29 if you don't know what anchor text is. But what you want to do is you want to check the anchor text that links to their website. And you want to see if much of it is in a language that, again, wouldn't normally happen for that website. So, again, say it's an American business. Okay, cool. And let's say that you've got like most of their backlinks are in Chinese. Now, I'm not talking about on Chinese servers. I mean, the language of the anchor text is Chinese. Ask yourself, what would cause this to happen? Does this business do a lot of trading with China? Well, then that might make sense. But maybe it's an American company that bought a spammy Chinese backlink package, and then you don't want to link to them because you don't want your website to be connected to spammy websites, okay? Now, you have to check though. Please note that I'm not saying Chinese backlinks are bad. I'm saying Chinese backlinks are bad if they don't make sense, okay? So you got to look into the website and see, does this make sense? And there's not like a software or a tool that does this for you. You just have to think. Like, look at the website. What does the website do? What is it? Is it media? Is it a business? Is it whatever? Is it promoting a service? Okay, now I know what the website does. Does it make sense that they have 80% Chinese language in their backlinks? Does that make sense? Yes? Cool. Keep going. Sounds good. No, it doesn't make sense. Listen, guys, we're not really accepting backlinks or content at this time, but thank you so much for offering, and then you're done. Okay. The fourth thing you have to check is, do they have any backlinks from shady IP addresses? Okay, what's a shady IP address? Now, I'm not talking about like the specific number. Do they have a lot of backlinks from IP addresses that are not unique at the first or second octet? I really don't want to explain this right now because I feel like I've explained this a whole lot before. So if you go listen to episode 39, which is called The Difference Between Good Backlinks and Bad Backlinks, Part 2, I will explain in that episode in detail what I'm talking about when I say unique the first or second octet. The very short version is an IP address is 4 numbers. Let's call them A, B, C, and D, all right? You want to make sure that if you're getting backlinks to a website, that A, the first number, and B, the second number, are different. If you see a lot of backlinks where the first number, A, and the second number, B, are the same, and the IP address is the same until the third number or the third octet, that's the same thing, then that's suspicious. That means that they're getting backlinks from a suspicious PBN, private blog network, and you do not want to be linking to that website, and you also don't want to be getting links from that website. So let's say you've done all those things. The last thing that you have to do is, and this is, I guess this one is still on the list, but this is after you get paid. Check their website periodically to make sure they haven't done anything they're not supposed to be doing. You never know when a website is going to be sold or hacked or whatever, okay? And if you're linking to this website and then all of a sudden they start linking, maybe they get hacked and they get thousands of like adult backlinks or something, right? You don't want to be linking to that. So in that case, you take the link down and you cancel their payment. So that's how you do it. I hope this makes sense. You will probably get emails from people wanting to buy backlinks from you, okay? The last thing that I'm going to say is I'm not suggesting that you go buy backlinks because technically buying and selling backlinks might be against the terms of service of certain search engines. Okay, but what I will tell you is I don't know anybody who's successful in the SEO industry that doesn't buy backlinks or that doesn't sell backlinks, okay? Because that's how SEO works. I don't know what else to say. That's how it works. So when this topic comes up, there are always people who are like, well, you're not supposed to buy backlinks. We only create content. Yeah, bro, and you don't rank for anything. So cool advice. But for those of you that are unsatisfied with your ranking in the search engine, in almost every case, Backlinks are the answer. It's only not the answer if you have a penalty, okay? If you have a penalty, go take care of your penalty, okay? Take care of your penalty. Go listen to episode 2 where I talk about different types of penalties, how to find them, how to fix them, and how to avoid them, okay? But like, guys, if you don't have a penalty, the answer to your problem, your SEO problem, is probably getting more authority. It's probably not content. It's probably not technical SEO. It's probably not, H1 tags. It's probably not site loading speed. It's probably not meta keywords, right? It's probably not. Anyway, I hope that this episode was helpful. And good luck selling backlinks. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you enjoy this podcast, please leave a review. It would really help the show out. I hope this episode was helpful. If you have any questions or want to suggest a subject for a future episode, you can contact me on Reddit. My username is Grumpy SEO Guy. You can visit the Grumpy SEO Guy subreddit, or you can email me at hello@grumpyseoguy.com. If you email me, please either whitelist my email address or check your junk folders, because I've been told that my replies are going into the junk folder, and it's probably because we're talking about things like SEO and backlinks, and I think those words will classify an email as spam. And if you want to support the podcast, because it's the best source of SEO information on the planet, and it's free, you can do so at patreon.com/grumpy SEO guy. And I will talk to you later. You're listening to Grumpy SEO Guy, the SEO podcast that doesn't waste your time with nonsense that doesn't work. Join us next Wednesday when we talk about 2 different websites and what one will rank better.